Today on Sugar Spun Run, I'll be showing you how to make a simple garden pasta. Hey Sugar Spun Bakers, Sam here, and today I am so excited to be sharing another carefully tested, well-researched, and perfected recipe. Today we're deviating a bit from the sweet recipes, and we are going to be using up some of that fresh summer garden produce. This is a simple pasta that comes together quickly, perfect for a weeknight dinner. Let's go ahead and get started by preparing our pasta. I like to use linguine for today's recipe, and we're just going to cook this according to package instructions. I generously salt my water. We'll bring that to a boil. Once the water is boiling, we will add 8 ounces of pasta. I'm using linguine, but you can use your favorite noodle. I know I'm not breaking my pasta because a lot of you were offended that I did that last time, so we're just gonna cook it straight. We'll cook this according to the package instructions, so typically about 10 minutes for a linguine. And while it's cooking, I like to begin preparing the sauce. So meanwhile, I have a large skillet and I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of olive oil, and I'm going to cook this over medium heat, or I'm going to heat the pan over medium heat until that oil is shimmering. Once it's nice and shimmering, I'm going to add 1 cup of finely chopped onion. You can use yellow onion, white onion, or sweet onion. I like to use a sweet onion just because I tend to like things a little more sweet. We're going to cook this until it's softened, which usually takes about 3 to 5 minutes. And once it is, we are going to add 6 large cloves of sliced garlic. I do slice the garlic instead of mincing it this time, as you can see right here. And if your cloves are small, bump it up to 8 cloves because this should have a nice garlic flavor to this dish. Now we'll cook these while stirring for 30 to 60 seconds until nice and fragrant. And now we will add our tomatoes, which hopefully your garden is full of them this time of year. We are using cherry tomatoes for today's recipe. You'll need 24 ounces, which is about 6 cups. And we will add those right into the skillet. I already mentioned I like things sweet, so probably won't surprise you that I add a pinch of sugar to help with the flavor of this dish. This is a 1/2 teaspoon. It's going to help bring out that nice sweet flavor of the cherry tomatoes and help cut the acidic flavor that could be there from the tomatoes as well. We'll also add a 1/2 teaspoon of table salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of dried thyme, and 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper, which gives a really nice subtle kick. Now we're going to stir this dish pretty frequently and cook it until the tomatoes begin to soften and burst. I'll show you what that looks like, but as the tomatoes are cooking, now I like to prepare my basil. We'll be using about a 1/3 cup of fresh basil for today's recipe, and you're going to want to cut it into thin slices or ribbons. The easiest way to do that is to sort of pile those leaves up on top of each other, and then just sort of roll the leaves. I have a lot here, so I can't really tightly roll them. And then I'm just gonna use a sharp knife to cut into thin ribbons. We'll set those aside until we're ready for them. So my tomatoes have been cooking for a little while now, and they are starting to soften. What I like to do at this point is I will take my spatula or a wooden spoon and I'll start to kind of help them along. If I lightly press on the tomato and the insides kind of burst out, that's perfect. I know they're at a good point, and I'll just kind of help and coax them along, help that sauce along by breaking a bunch of the tomatoes. If the tomatoes are still very firm to your spatula or spoon, you're going to want to let them cook a little bit longer. So I'll squish most of these tomatoes. You want pretty much all of them to be nice and burst. And then once that's done, we can go ahead and add our basil. I'm gonna hold on to a little bit because I like to add it as garnish too. Now let's hop back over to our pasta really quickly. This is pretty much done, but before I drain my pasta, I'm going to want to reserve at least a 1/2 cup of that pasta water. We may not use all of it, but you want to reserve it. You want to have more than you need. So I have my pasta water, then I'll go ahead and drain the pasta. Now we can add that warm linguine right into the large skillet with our burst cherry tomato sauce. And we'll stir everything together. And I like to use tongs at this point just because it makes it easy to sort of really dredge those noodles through the sauce. All right, now I want to help this sauce really cling to the noodles. I want to give it just the perfect texture, so I'm just going to add a couple splashes of pasta water. I find I usually need to add about 1/4 cup of pasta water to get the texture just right. And we'll just mix this in. All right, this looks perfect. So now we can turn off the heat, and I'm going to add 1/3 cup of freshly shredded, you could use grated instead, Parmesan cheese, and we'll stir this in as well. And that is how you make this super delicious, incredibly flavorful summer pasta. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's recipe, and if you tried this one out, please leave me a comment and let me know what you think. I always love hearing from you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.